Let me start this quiet talk by sharing with you the single most wonderful thing I have discovered in over 20 years of helping folks understand their own hearts and the hearts of the ones they love most. In all that time, I have seen a very common thing. Most men honestly and truly believe in their souls that they have a clear and perfect map in their heads. They think they know exactly what the woman they love needs from them and what she wants most in the world. But from everything I have seen with my own eyes over 2 decades, most men are not quite right about that map. This does not happen because they are mean-hearted or because they do not care. It is not because they are trying to be difficult. It is simply because nobody ever took the time to sit them down in a warm, quiet room and explain these deep things in a simple way that actually makes sense to the human heart. There is no school book for how to love someone well. No teacher taught you these little secrets when you were a boy in a classroom. And if we are being very honest, most women do not even talk about these things out loud to their partners, even when they are feeling them very deeply in the quietest parts of their souls. I have spent more than 20 years working with couples all across this big, beautiful country of ours. I have traveled from the busy, rainy streets of Vancouver all the way to the quiet, rocky shores of Halifax. I have sat at kitchen tables with young people who just got their wedding rings and with couples in their 60s and 70s who have shared a home, a bed, and a life for 40 years, but still feel like they are sleeping next to a total stranger. I have looked deep into the eyes of thousands of men who wanted with every bit of their heart to be better partners, but they just did not have the tools. They did not know how to reach across that long distance to find their partner again. Today, I want to change that for you. I want to help you build a bridge across that gap. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you 7 very special places on a woman's body. These are spots that go much deeper than just skin and bone. They are places that, when you touch them with a kind hand and a quiet heart, unlock something very emotional and very deep. I will tell you right now that most of you will be quite surprised by what I say, because none of these 7 places are the ones you are likely thinking of in your head right now. Before we get into all the details, there is one big idea I need you to hold on to very tightly. A woman's brain does not separate the touch of a hand from the feelings inside her heart. For a woman, especially one who has lived through the many different seasons of life and is now in her 40s, 50s, or 60s, a touch is never just a simple touch. Every single time you reach out your hand to her, her whole body is asking a very quiet, very private question. She is asking herself, am I truly safe with him? Does he really see who I am today? Does he still care about me? If her heart can answer yes to those questions, her whole body begins to let go of its worries. She opens up like a beautiful flower in the morning sun. She moves closer to you without even thinking about it. But if the answer is no, or even if she is just not quite sure, she will pull away. She is not doing this to be mean or because she does not love you. She is doing it because her body is built by nature to protect her heart first. I have heard this same story from women over and over again. I remember a woman named Patricia. She was 58 years old and had been married for 31 long years. She told me something that stayed with me forever. She said, I don't need him to be a perfect man from a movie. I just need him to slow down his busy, loud life long enough to actually feel who I am. I want him to not just touch my skin, but to really feel me. That one sentence is the most important lesson I can give you. So let us look at these 7 special places together. Think of them as 7 doors you can open to change how your partner feels when you are standing near her. The first place is the back of the neck. It is that soft, tender spot right where her hair begins to grow. This area is one of the most forgotten parts of a woman's body. Most men just walk right past it every day without a second thought. But this is exactly where we carry our heavy feelings. This is where the stress of a long, hard day of work, family worries, and endless chores settles down to stay. When a woman feels like she has too much on her plate, the muscles right there get very tight and very hard. What I want you to do is reach out very gently. Do not try to rub it hard like you are trying to fix a broken car or a machine. Just use 2 or 3 of your fingertips. Move very slowly. Do not use any pressure at all. Just let her feel the warmth of your skin and the fact that you are right there with her in that moment. When you do this, her body starts to change on the inside. Her breathing will get deeper and much slower. The stress chemicals that make us feel worried start to fade away from her blood. In their place, a wonderful chemical called oxytocin starts to flow. People often call this the cuddle hormone or the trust hormone. That is because it helps us feel connected and safe. Touching the back of her neck is one of the quickest ways to help her feel that trust again. She might not say a single word when you do it. She might just get very quiet or lean her head back toward your hand. That silence is a beautiful thing. It is her body's way of saying thank you. The second place is that soft area right between the shoulder blades. You can think of this spot as her personal shield. It is the part of her back that she cannot reach by herself, which makes it feel very private and special. It is also the part of her that carries all the invisible weights of life. When a woman feels like she has to be the strong one for everyone else, for the kids, the grandkids, or her friends, this is where she builds her walls. I am not talking about giving her a deep massage here. I am talking about something much simpler and much more from the heart. Just place your hand there, flat and warm. Do not move it around and do not try to make anything happen. Just be still and quiet. When you do that, you are telling her something that words cannot describe. You are saying, I have you. I am standing right here behind you. You do not have to carry all of this heavy stuff by yourself anymore. I have seen this one simple act change everything for a couple. I worked with a husband and wife in Toronto who were both in their 60s. They were retired and spent all day in the same house, but they told me they felt like they were living on two different planets. The husband, a kind man named Robert, started doing this one small thing every single evening. When his wife was standing in the kitchen after dinner, maybe washing a dish or putting away food, he would just walk up and rest his hand between her shoulder blades. He didn't say a word. He just stayed there for a moment. 3 weeks later, she told me with tears in her eyes that she felt like he had finally come back home to her. That is the quiet power of this spot. The third place is her hands, and I specifically mean her fingers and the palms. Now, you might think you already know all there is to know about holding hands, but please listen closely. There is a very big difference between just grabbing someone's hand and truly holding it. There is a difference between a quick squeeze and taking the time to trace your thumb slowly across her palm. A woman's hands are her way of touching the world. She uses them to give to others, to create things, and to show she cares. When you hold her hands with your full attention, she feels like you really understand her heart. Try this today. The next time you are just sitting together on the couch, maybe watching the evening news or having a cup of hot tea, take her hand in yours. But instead of just holding it tight, use your thumb to slowly feel the shape of her fingers. Draw tiny, slow circles on her palm. Do not be in a hurry. Experts at McGill University have found that this kind of slow, careful touch on the hands sends a signal to the brain that is exactly like hearing someone say they love and value you. In simple words, holding her hand this way tells her she matters to you more than anything else in the world. Your hands can say what your voice sometimes forgets to say. The fourth place is the small soft hollow just below the jaw, right behind the ear. This one always surprises the men I talk to. It is not a place many people think about at all. It is very small and very easy to miss, and that is exactly why it is so special. This area is full of tiny nerves that are very sensitive to touch. But more importantly, it is a spot that you can only reach when you are very close to her. It requires you to be fully present and focused only on her. When you are sitting near each other and you gently brush your fingers along this soft spot, you are doing two wonderful things at once. You are helping her body feel a wave of calm, and you are sending a message that says, I notice the little things about you. I am paying close attention to who you are. Women feel this kind of touch differently than any other. It does not feel like you are asking for something or wanting a favor. It feels like you are truly seeing her. And being seen is one of the deepest needs we have as human beings, especially after being together for a long time. I always tell men that if she does not lean into your hand right away, do not worry and do not push. This spot requires a lot of trust. If you are still working on building that trust back up after a hard time, just be patient and kind. Over time, as she sees you are staying by her side and not going anywhere, she will begin to relax. The fifth place is the inner part of her leg, right near the knee. This is very far from any private areas, and the location is very important to remember. We are talking about the soft skin on the inside of the leg, just above the knee. This area holds a lot of emotion for women, even if they don't realize it themselves. A respectful and slow touch here says something very clear. It says, I want to be close to you, but I am not rushing you. I find you beautiful, but I am not demanding anything from you right now. The secret here is the speed. It should be slow and steady, like you have all the time in the world. It should feel like this moment, right now, is exactly where you want to be. I have had many women tell me that this kind of patient touch felt more meaningful than anything else their partner had done in years. It told them, I am just happy to be near you. In a long marriage, that message can feel like a cool drink of water on a hot day. The sixth place is the lower back. It is that curved area between her waist and her hips. The lower back is like the center of a woman's balance. It holds up her whole body. In many relationships, this part of the body goes years without being touched in a kind way. When you put your hand gently on her lower back, especially if you are standing behind her so she can feel your chest against her back, something very special happens in her mind. Her brain sees this as a sign of protection and safety. It is like you are saying, I am behind you in every way possible. This is not about trying to control her or tell her what to do. It is about making her feel like she's in a safe harbor where she can finally let her guard down. Think about the last time you stood close to her and just let your hand rest there. If you cannot remember, that is okay, but I want you to try it this week. Do not do it as a trick to get something. Do it because you really want to be there for her. Stand close, place your hand softly on her back, and just breathe together for a minute. Let her feel that you are not trying to get anywhere else. Just being near her is enough for you. The seventh place is the most surprising of all. It is the lower belly, the area around and just below the belly button. This is the most emotional part of a woman's entire body, yet it is the one we often ignore. Most men either forget this area or they only touch it when they are trying to move towards something else. Both of those choices miss a chance for deep connection. The lower belly is where a woman holds her deepest sense of herself. There is real science behind this. This area is connected to a very important nerve that helps the human body handle emotions. When you touch this area with real care and very slowly, it feels to her like you are holding her very soul. I always tell couples to imagine they are holding something that can never be replaced, something very fragile and very precious, like a piece of thin glass. You would not grab it or be rough with it. You would move with great care and give it all your attention. That is how you should touch this place. A warm hand placed there with no hurry at all says something that is hard to put into words. It says, I trust you with my whole life, and I hope you can trust me too. When a woman feels that truth, her whole body answers in a beautiful way. Now let us bring all of this together. We have 7 places: the back of the neck, the space between the shoulder blades, the hands, the hollow behind the ear, the inner leg near the knee, the lower back, and the lower belly. None of these are big secrets. None of them are hard to do. But I can almost promise you that most men are not using them. They are not using them with the slow, kind intention they deserve. This matters so much because as we get older and as our lives together get longer, we often stop reaching out. It is not because the love is gone. It is because life gets busy, we get tired, or we just assume our partner already knows how we feel. But women feel that lack of touch very deeply. They feel it in their bodies long before they even think about it. They might wake up one day and feel very alone, even though you are right there in the same room. They feel lonely because the language of touch has stopped. I think of a man named David, who was 67 and lived in Edmonton. His wife had been acting very distant for 2 years. He came to me because he thought their love was just running out after 35 years of marriage. I asked him a very simple question. When was the last time you touched her just to show you cared, without wanting anything back? He sat in silence for a long time. Finally, he said, I can't remember. That was the answer right there. We talked about these 7 places and how to use them. He went home and started very small. He just put his hand on the back of her neck while she was reading a book. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't say anything. She looked up at him and smiled a real smile for the first time in a very long time. 2 months later, he told me that his wife felt like he had finally come back to her. That is not a magic trick. It is just what happens when you are consistently and kindly present with someone. The problem in most long-term relationships is not that people stop loving each other. It is that they stop having a way to speak that love. I am talking about the language of touch, the slow, genuine contact that says, I see you. You are important to me. Women, especially as they move through middle age and beyond, do not want to be rushed. They want attention. They want to be noticed in the small details. They want a hand that moves like it has all the time in the world. To them, just being with you is the whole point of it all. The research shows this very clearly. I have seen it in my work every day. Women actually have more sensitive skin than men, especially in the spots we talked about today, like the neck, the ears, and the belly. These areas are wired directly to their emotions. Touching them helps their bodies feel safe. And you cannot have true closeness without that feeling of safety first. A study at the University of British Columbia looked at couples who had been together for a long time. They found that the couples who were the happiest were the ones who kept touching each other in simple, non-sexual ways. They were the ones who held hands or rested a hand on a back just to be kind. These couples felt much closer and happier even when life was difficult. The couples who stopped touching this way said they felt more like roommates than partners. Please do not let yourselves become just roommates. So here is my wish for you today. Start very small. Tonight, if your partner is near, walk over and gently place your hand on the back of her neck. Do not say a word. Just let your hand stay there, warm and still. See how she responds. Tomorrow, try resting your hand on her lower back or holding her hand very slowly and with purpose. These are not just things to do, they are ways to show you care. There is a huge difference between doing something to get a result and doing something because you love someone. She will know the difference right away. Sometimes the warmth in your hands is worth more than 1,000 words. A touch that asks for nothing and only says, I am here because of you, has the power to bring two people back together. It is never too late to start this. I have seen couples in their 70s completely change their lives with these small shifts. I have seen women who had given up on their relationship start to hope again. I have seen men realize it was not too late after all. The fact that you are listening to this tells me you want to do better. You want to understand. You want your love to feel alive again. And I promise you it can. It will. All it takes is for you to slow down, show up, and let your hands speak for you. Please take good care of each other. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If these words helped you today, please stay connected with us so you can hear more of these helpful ideas. Every week, a group of caring experts shares real ways to make your life better based on years of experience. No complicated words, just things that really work. I am so glad you are here with me today. I look forward to our next conversation. To make sure you get all the help you need, we have added more stories and tips to our collection. These help you understand why we do the things we do. For example, did you know that holding a hand can actually lower how much pain a person feels? It is true. When a woman is feeling physical pain or just the emotional pain of a bad day, your hand is like a medicine. It tells her brain that she's not alone in her struggle. When you touch these 7 places, you are not just being nice. You are actually changing the way her brain and her heart talk to each other. You are bringing peace to her world. And when she feels peace, she can give you the love you have been looking for. It is a beautiful circle that starts with a single gentle touch. We have seen men who were once very frustrated find a whole new way of being with their wives. They stopped trying to argue and started trying to connect. They stopped trying to win and started trying to understand. This is the path to a life filled with joy and closeness. It is a path that is open to you right now. You do not need money and you do not need special talents. You just need a kind heart and the willingness to slow down. Remember, life moves so fast. We spend so much time looking at screens or worrying about the future, but your partner is right there next to you. She is a living, breathing person with feelings and needs. She wants to be touched in a way that makes her feel special. She wants to know that she is the only one for you. By using these 7 spots, you are telling her that every day, you are making her feel like a queen in her own home. And there is nothing more powerful than that. So as we end our time together today, take a deep breath. Think about the woman you love. Think about how much you want her to be happy. Then when the time is right, Reach out. Use your hands to speak the words you find hard to say. Be the man she knows she can trust. Be the person who sees her when the rest of the world looks away. You have the power to change your relationship starting today. It is all in your hands. Thank you for listening so closely. It means a lot to me that you care enough to learn. I believe in you, and I believe in the power of a kind touch. Go out there and show her how much she means to you. Take it one step at a time, one touch at a time. You will be amazed at what happens. We are here for you every step of the way, sharing what we know so you can live your best life. Until next time, stay kind and stay close. Goodbye for now.